it can traverse from one data to another. So if A has the address of B, then it can easily go for B. If B has the address of C, it can easily go for C. But how will it, how B will go for A, how C will go for B, how D will go for C? So to do that, B must have the address of A. C must have the address of B. So till here, are you getting what I'm coming at? Like, I'm trying to say that how the bidirectional thing happens in linked list. So to traverse from left side to right or to right side to left, one should always have the address of both. Okay, otherwise it will not be possible for anybody to traverse back. So how it works? First, say this is the address of A, 108. So in bidirectional or doubly linked list, what happens? Let's say we are not talking about unidirectional anymore. We're talking about bidirectional. Okay, you go away, you take its place. Okay, so how bidirectional will work? The A will have the value of B will have the value of A. So for say there will be one more node like this. C will have the value of B. Value as in address value, not the value. 111 will have the value of 119. And this will have the value of 145. Okay. So this is how it usually works. So everyone will have the double value of each other. Okay. Are you understanding what I'm saying?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Please ask any question, because if you have understood singly, double is nothing, to be honest, but still there might be confusions. So W usually what happens? A, B, C, D, G, the values that we are having, they all have two of the addresses. So remember, doubly linked list take more memory than singly linked list. Because in singly linked list, we were like memorizing only one address. Now we are memorizing two addresses. So it will take more space. Okay. And it takes time to run also. So this is how it usually works. Now coming to A, before A, there is no other value, right? It's blank. So in that case, what happens? The previous node is blank or null. And for G, there is no other value at the end. So the last value is null. This is what we call previous, and this is what we call next, as in the point of address value. So as A and G are the endpoints like head and tail. So A does not have any previous, so the first or the previous address value is null, and G's next address value is null. So now if I suddenly ask you to move from C to B, what will you do? You will know that know that B is ahead of C, like before of C. Then you will take this address 111, which is similar to this, and you will go to B, traverse. If I ask you to go from B to D, what will you do? You will go from B to C, that is 119. And then you will come to C and check 145. 145 is D. Then you will stop here. So this is how the doubly, because we are storing double values, that's why it's called doubly linked list. So it's pretty, it might be pretty confusing or pretty clear. So do you have any question related to this single bidirectional thing?
Ma'am, please explain it again now. Not able to get it, please.
Okay, can you let me know what is your doubt so that I can be exactly pinpointing there?
No, the concept only. Please repeat it once again now. That
Okay, fine. So in singly linked list, what happens? Usually we store the value of the next node. Only the value of the next node, nothing else. Wait, I think we had it. Yep. Some simple picture. Let's see this. So previously what was happening, if we open the singly linked list picture, then open, yeah. Here you can see we were storing the value of only next. The address value of next was getting stored. So if you want to traverse, you can see the arrows. The arrows are pointing to one direction. Okay. So if I want to travel to C, what will I do? I will traverse from A to B, then B to C. Because every value contains the address node of the next value. Till here, clear?
Yeah, ma'am. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Now what is happening in doubly linked list? We are storing the value for both. We are storing the value for the next and the previous. You will see that for say for B what will happen? B will know the address of C, which will be stored in the next node, and B will also have the address of A, which will be stored in the previous node. And you can see the arrows, they are not going one directional, they are going both direction. If you want to come back from C to A, you can do that through this previous node's address. If you want to travel from A to C, you can do with the help of this next node address. So you can see that the same node, which is here, is the next node of B and previous node of C. These two values will be same. If I go back to my picture, it should be same. What happened here? Oh yeah, right. It will not be same, sorry. So A is containing the value of B and B is containing the value of both A and C. You can see A's value is 108 and C's value is address value is 119. So B is containing the value of both. Now if you want to traverse from B to C, you will use this because this is the value of C and it will go in this direction, this direction. If you want to come back from C to B, you will be using this value 111, which is the value of B, and you will be traveling to this direction. So this is how usually the doubly linked list work using both the next and the previous address value. Are you able to understand or do you need any better representation?
No, no, I got it. Alright.
But if you have any question, you can ask. Like I just explained it, but if you ask a question, I will be able to understand why you are not getting it. That's why
No,
I'm
no,
asking.
got it, ma'am. Yeah.
Okay. Fine. So any question from doubly linked list? This is not to only Anish, but to everybody. Everyone is very silent.
Yeah, we understood double linked list.
Okay. Okay. Now coming to the circular doubly, same as circular singly. Just this pointers will have values. Previously, we were having circular singly, where the null value was replaced by the first head address. Here also the same thing will happen. This will contain the address of G and G will contain the address of A. So it will contain 108, 10, 167. So that's how it will build a circle, because now no null addresses are there. So if I just see, I might be wrong. Okay, let me arrange it. Hmm. 1, 4, 5 was for what? Oh, the previous one. Yeah, the next one is 108. For this, the previous one is 165, 167. Yeah. So this is how it will work for doubly linked list. It can traverse. Previously, the circle that I saw was traveling like this. Now it can travel in both ways. Okay, it can travel in both ways. It can go clockwise or anti-clockwise. So if I want to move from A to B, I can move like this. If I want to move from B to G, I can move like this. So that's how the doubly linked list work. Usually the null values that are there uh, for the next and previous node, they are not there. Wait. Yep. Yeah, here you can see the photo. So you see 88 is the value. 200 is the address value of 67. Okay. 200 is the address value of 67. It contains in the next node. The same way, 67 contains in the next node of 92 value, 300 here. Now, this 92 will have the address node of 88 and 88 will have the address value of 92. You see the arrow like this, and 92's address value 0 like this. So now there is no head or tail. Every node contains two of the value. If you suddenly delete anything from here, first if I suddenly delete this, then B will contain the value of D. And D will contain the value of B over here. I know it is very confusing. I will just try to do it. Here it will be 145. And here it will be 111. Like that it will be here. So if I remove this one, any value from here, it will take the address value of the next immediate node. That's how usually linked list work. Okay. It might be very confusing. You have to go through many of the website documentation to understand it, and maybe use this kind of examples to understand what is exactly happening. But moreover that, the implementation is important. Okay, so from the implementation point of view, you will not be seeing, I guess, any high difference between doubly and singly linked list, because it happens in the memory space mostly. One thing that you can notice is if you write a big script, you can see the execution time taking place in different manner. That's it. Okay. So by the extreme pin drop silence, I can understand that nobody has understood anything. So if you guys have any question, please ask. Aarti, Saujanya, did you guys understand?
Yeah, Palamita. Yes, Palamita.
Thank you. Thank you. Other people like who are here?
Regarding the
Please.
circular
Sorry.
regarding the circular linked list, doubly linked list. Yeah. In case of the first node, so before the circular linked list, the previous pointer was null.
Correct. Yes, like this.
Yeah. So for the circular linked list, what will be the value for this? For the first
That will
node.
be for the first node, the value will be the last node's value. Okay, so if you see over here,
And
this is the first node, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Okay.
so for the first node, the first value was null at first. It was nothing. Now it is taking the address of the last node so that it can connect. You can see the arrow going. The last node address at 300.
Okay.
Okay. And for last node, the last value was null, right? This was null.
Yes.
Last
This was
address value.
clear.
So yeah, now it is taking the value of 88, that is 100. This way it is creating a circular pattern. Okay. You can see that the head previously was 100, that is the 88th value. Now it is not required because in a circle there is no head or a tail. We just have a circular pattern. Any other question? Please ask. If you have any question, please ask. Yes. I heard a ma'am, then I didn't hear anything. Is it me or nobody?
No, yes, ma'am. How will identify that in the question to means from single link list or double link list we can solve this question like that? How can we identify that? I'm asking. Means
Sorry. Can you
in the
elaborate your
question
question?
means in the question they are already given that we have to solve through the single link list or double link list. How we will identify that? I'm asking.
In the question they have given. Who gave the question? What question?
No, means I'm asking any question is given the any interview or anything. How
Oh,
can
okay,
we
okay, okay,
identify
okay,
that?
okay, okay. Yeah, yeah. So about that. So I think I have mentioned this before also. Mm, yeah, that is a common confusion. Even I also had it. So you see the structure. Okay. So here, iterable collection, list, array list, linked list, and set. These are the portion that you need to remember. Because usually collections in Java, it is a huge part of data structure. And data structure is a separate part which you have to understand, and it will take a lot of time to understand the collection framework and use it as a point of tester or a QA. I don't think you will need any of this. Even I have never used linked list while doing programming. So because it was not needed, it's not like I didn't use it. Even if I wanted to, I didn't need it at all. So if you're scared about what will come to the interview question, how will you answer it and all, you don't have to worry about it. Just know the difference between singly and doubly linked list, the difference between array list and linked list, how the mechanism works, why array list is different from linked list, what are the differences. So can anybody state any differences over here? This two major difference, anyone?
Means the array list and the linked list?
Yes.
Array list is having continuous memory location. Linked list, it works basis of the storing the addresses of the next element. Like in a single linked list, it stores the address of the next element. In a doubly linked list, it will store the previous and the next address of the element. So this is a major difference between an array list and a linked list.
And the similarities?
To access any element, we directly access through index in array list.
Nice,
But
nice. And in linked list?
but in linked list, it goes in a linear fashion. So one node to another node, it traverses and get the. So it's a time taking.
Nice, excellent. So these are the things that you need to remember. So while using anything, you have to understand which one do I need to use now. For say, if you're adding a random value, you can use set. You're for say you are trying to add a selected value and in a proper form you want to form a list, then you can use list. So from a QA point of view, I'm saying that you will not need to know other things well, and even these questions will not be asked in interviews in a basic level. I'm not saying in higher level, in a basic level, as you guys all are in training and in fresher position. Having the overall knowledge of this is enough. And Anish, the question that you have asked, how will I know the difference between doubly and singly? How will I know if it is a doubly linked list or singly? Like I mentioned, it's an implementation thing. So if the basic difference you ask me, that is the address node. Singly linked list is unidirectional. It can travel in one direction and has the address of only the next node. But doubly is faster and it is bidirectional, and it contains the both the node. Because uh, for say if singly linked list was there, if you wanted to go to G, you would have had to traverse from A to B to D to G. Now in doubly linked list, as A already has the address of G, you just can directly come from A to G. Because it can go both ways. It can go this way, it can go this way. It will try to find the nearest one. So usually that is how the traversing works. Okay. So this kind of deep level question will not be, usually it doesn't come, and you will not even need more than this kind of interfaces. Is it cleared? Like I'm talking
Yeah,
about the
yeah.
interface and classes that we need to use. So most used interface would be iterable, then list and set. And coming to class, array list. Array list will be most used because everybody likes to know where I'm putting my data. I'm putting it in the first position, third position, eighth position, where I'm putting it. It's easiest way to have an array list. Now, one more question arrives. What is the difference between array and array list? That is one more huge question that comes from the interview
In
point of view.
yeah, in array we can't add new element, but that is possible in array list.
Ah, we can't add new element. Why?
In array,
Why can't we add it?
we can able to update, but not.
The size is fixed, ma'am.
Yeah. And in array list?
Array list it's a dynamic sizing, so default size is 10. So if I add 11th element, we had a formula. So based on that, it creates space, increasing random dynamically.
Yeah. So for array, first we have to declare the size of the array for say 8 or 10 like that. But array list, we do not have to add anything. We are not fixing the size of it, size of the list. You can add as much as you want, and it according to the insertion order, it will add the data one after the other. Okay.
Ma'am,
So yes, don't call me ma'am, please. I'm no senior than you.
oh,
Yeah,
okay,
tell me.
okay. Can't we have indexes in linked list?
No, no. Linked list follows the insertion order. Remember this. List always follows the insertion order, but indexing is not there. So what I'm trying to say,
But in
per se,
docs, there are some methods similar to array list. They're using indexes.
sorry, I didn't get you.
In the linked list docs and the Java docs, there are some methods related to indexes.
Okay, sorry, I'm not aware. I might not be aware. Oh, can you explain me when I will
Can
learn?
I share my screen, ma'am?
Yeah, sure.
Is it visible? I just tried it with, had a doubt now. I tried with
Nice.
linked list and it is
Mhm.
accepting these indexes. Means linked list has index pattern or not. And in the
Nice. Okay.
Java docs, there are methods related to index in linked list. This index. So tried it and it worked well.
Wow, nice. Yeah, that's good. Can you go back to the doc? I saw
Yes, ma'am.
something else also. Collection extends he. Fine. Add all collection extends it first. Yeah, got it. I'm sorry, I was just looking at this at first, at last
Yeah, yeah.
things. So at first, if I add a first, then it will move the index of everything, right? And if I add last, it will move it to the previous one. Fine. Got it. Yeah, so that's a nice. I didn't know I know that indexing is followed. I just knew that insertion order is followed. If I add something in the list, it will be added at the last, usually, like following the
Yeah,
insertion
yes,
order with the time.
yes.
Thank you for that. Nice. So that's for everybody. She has already got it. That insertion order is followed, and there are some of the index method that is also available in the linked list.
Then the difference between array list and linked list is what, ma'am? If linked list is also following the indexes means.
Sorry.
Then the difference between array list and linked list.
That is mostly, so the major difference is the memory. Okay, that is how
Yeah,
the array list and linked list works. Okay, and the other important thing is the dynamic array thing. Array list has a dynamic
yeah,
array use, right? That is, it's used to store the elements. And linked list use the memory or the doubly linked list method to store the element. Okay,
yeah,
and also that other thing that I mentioned, the manipulation is slower,
yeah,
manipulation is faster. Like linked list, as it does not follow the indexing properly, which I knew by far, it's faster. You can manipulate as in update or delete. So like I was mentioning, if you go to the same documentation, you will see there are two methods. One is add last, one is add first. So if you add an element at first, it will automatically move the other elements to the next index. That you, I think you have done the implementation, right?
uh, for only
Can you
few
share your
months.
screen once again? Share your screen.
Yeah,
You go to the page, Java doc page.
yeah.
I think your feed is coming very slow for me.
Is it okay?
Yeah, here you can see now add first and add last, two
Yeah, yeah,
methods.
yeah,
So usually what happens if you add first, okay, what happens in the array list? That means the zero index is getting occupied by this new
yeah.
value. Then
And
all
everything
the,
has to be, yeah,
yeah, everything has to shift one after the other. First, the last one will shift, then the next one will shift. It will take a lot of time. But for linked list, if you add any value at the first, the linked list will consider it as a head.
okay,
Okay, and it will store the value of the previous head. That's it. Nothing
okay,
else, because it's not moving anywhere. Because the storing is contiguous, not continuous.
okay.
That is why it's slower. The array list is slower in case of manipulation, and a linked list is faster in case of manipulation.
Yeah,
Okay. So this, if you want to manipulate more, as in manipulate by I mean updating usually.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Modify.
So you have added 10 data. You
Yes,
know this 10 data will be there. Then you can add the use the array list. You know this data will be there, I will be using them. But if you want to continuously add data in the middle of the list, or at the bottom, or at the third position, 10th position, 8th position, then I think linked list would be better, because
yeah,
it does not has to shift every other index value.
yeah,
Okay, that is a major difference between. Otherwise, both the things are list. They cannot contain. Sorry, they contains a null value twice. They can contain duplicate value.
duplicate
Everything
value.
is the features of list. Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. Any other question related to this? Do you guys understand the first ad and last ad that I mentioned, or only
Yeah, yes,
she and I
ma'am.
was talking?
Yeah, we understood. Lamita.
Sure, na. The understood is not very loud. Anyway. Okay. So it's 9:41. I will just try to mention the set ones. I think set, do you guys have any idea on set?
No problem.
Okay. Okay. So uh, just like list, set is another interface that is getting implemented by different classes in Java. So what does set has, which list does not have? So the main important portion of set is that it is unordered collection. everything here is a collection. List, queue, set, everything is a collection. But set is unordered. Unordered as mean there is no order, there is no sequence that it follows. Okay. So here one more important part is you cannot add duplicate values. Okay. Because if you add same duplicate values that it does not follow any order, then it will be confused as to which one to keep. That's why it does not contain any duplicate values. Are you guys like familiar with the concept of mathematical set that we have in classes in 10th standard or 11th standard? We have like
Yes,
set, concept of
universal
set.
set. Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
So
Yes.
there
Ma'am.
what happens if you add two sets together, it takes the common things, right, and creates a new set. Am I saying right or wrong?
Yes, yes.
The same way this
Union.
set also, yeah, union, subtraction, difference, this happens, right? The same,
Intersection union.
correct. So the same way this set also works. If you remember those unions and all these things, you will know that set cannot contain any duplicate values. It takes a common value and create a new set. The same way, this Java set is also built in the same logic. You have to use uh, only the value that has that are explicit in that particular collection. Okay. Okay. One more
And
important point.
no insertion order is followed. Is that what you mentioned by the sequence?
Yes,
No
no
insertion.
insertion order is followed. Yeah, no
Okay.
insertion order. Okay. Usually it follows an like unordered method. Okay. First, say you are adding your name first, then you are adding somebody else's name, then you're adding Sojana's name, then my name, all these things. If you try to return it, if you try to run it, there is no guarantee that your name will come first, then other person, then Sojana, then me. I might come first. She might come later. So Sojana might come second. So when you run it, you cannot be sure that okay, I have ordered in such manner, I have added in such manner, it will return in the same manner to me. It might jumble it because it does not follow an insertion order. If you run the implementation, you will know that you are giving like a sentence for say I am a woman. It might print woman I am or am woman I, like that. It will not follow any insertion order. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, and also about the null value. So set can contain a null value. Okay. But it cannot contain multiple null value. Remember that. In list, if you want, you can add multiple null value. You're adding names like for say Neetu, then Vijay, you're adding, then you added null, then again Vavna, then again Anish, like that you're adding. Those two nulls that you're adding in the list, they are getting added. But in set, you can only add one null value. Because null is also considered a value. Please keep this in mind. Nothing and null are different. This will be handy while you're writing test cases, especially for API. If somebody wants you to validate with any value, for say, try validating with string, try validating with character, try validating with double, float, null. So these things are values. And if somebody says, ki, try validating with nothing, that means you don't pass the value at all and see what happens. So that is the basic difference between null and nothing. Null and nothing are not same. Null is also a value. Okay. That is why if you add null in a set, that will consider the set will consider it as a value. Null is a value. So as I have already mentioned, set does not allow any duplicate. It will not even allow the duplicate of null. Am I somewhat getting in your head, or should I share my screen and show?
Yeah, we are getting.
But sharing screen would be better.
Sharing should be better.
Okay. Wait.
Ma'am,
Mm,
please go through that linked list method also. No? Once.
which one? That
Linked list method I'm asking.
okay, I will. Okay. This is set. Okay. So set, if you are adding multiple values, for say I'm adding apple, banana, pineapple, and what can I say? Kiwi. If I'm adding this and then I'm adding null, and again I'm trying to add apple, it will not let me, it will throw error. Okay, that I've already added the same value. Now the same way, if I want to add null, it will also not let me add the null. It will also throw the same error because these are the values that it has already got. Null is also a value. If you want to, if set does not contain any duplicate, okay, no duplicates. So null is also already printed some one time. Then why will it print once again? It will not. So that's why I'm saying that null and nothing are not same. So if I ask you to validate a particular thing for say variable, variable equals to, here you're adding a char, a double, float, string, boolean, you're adding everything. Then you're validating with null also. Now I wanted you to try to validate with nothing. Then what will you do? You will add nothing. That is what the difference between null and nothing. In the API calls, what happens? We have multiple parameters. So in the parameter, we send multiple things like multiple type of data. By sending them, we see how the API is responding. That is a part of API testing. So in that case, we also check if I do not send the parameter at all. For say if this is like, for say this is an add method and v is the parameter. V is the parameter. Okay. So first it will check with character, then it will check with double, float, string, boolean, null. Then it will check as nothing. We will be having nothing, add nothing. Okay. So this is the basic difference you have to keep in mind. The same reason set does not allow any double null value. Also, if I want to print it, it will not print like this. It will print like, for say, like this. You cannot really be sure on what happens. Okay. You cannot really be sure. So it might be same, it might be different. Okay. Okay, who is this here? So many calls I'm getting since morning. Yeah. So that's how it returns. Okay. So now the question might come, if I do not know how the outcome will happen, why would I use set at all? I will go for list because I know where I'm putting what, how I'm gonna get it. Right. That is more safe. That is more secure. But the only feature that makes us use set, okay, the only feature is this no duplicates thing. Sometimes we really do not need the duplicates. For say you are trying to get the set of tabs that I've opened. Okay, you can see I have opened multiple tabs over here, right? Am I audible at all?
Yes,
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, you are.
yes.
Okay, fine. So I have opened multiple tabs. Okay, so what are the tabs that I have opened? Now, if I just create duplicates, okay, I will just create duplicates. Duplicate, duplicate. Now, if I take all the tabs and store it in a single list, what will happen? It will show me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 values. It will show me 14 tabs you have opened. These are the tabs that you have opened. Okay. This is what they are going to, the list is going to show me. But if I only want to know what are the tabs that I have opened, then what will it do? It will remove the duplicate. You can see this and these are same because they're duplicate. This and these are same. I guess this and this is also same. Yeah. So it will only show me the explicit or unique values. Then what? How many it will show? It will show me 11 tabs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is duplicate. It will not take. 7, 8. It will not take. 9, 10, 11. it will also not take it because it's same. So if you want to know the list of tabs that you have opened or list of windows that are open, you can use set. Okay. Am I somewhere getting you? I just
Yes.
gave an real-time use case, which you will be facing while you learn Selenium in future. In Selenium, we have one method window handles. It will show you, it returns the type of set. Okay. It will show you all the tabs or windows that you have opened right now. Okay. If you have, yes.
Excuse me. Yeah, duplicate tabs not at all take into account, right?
No, they will not be taking into count. If you use set, if you use list, then it will be in count because list contains duplicate. For list, every element is a value. It will not care what is happening, what is the content. It will see that, okay, this many tabs are open, let's display this. But for set, duplicate matters. It will show only the important content. Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Any more
So
questions?
set we can use particularly when we are trying to generate a unique number like passport number or SSN. So set is the place where we can go it for. Am I correct? In a real-time situation?
Generate. Yeah, you can. For say you are 10 people group. Okay. Everyone's passport number will be different, right?
Yes.
To make sure that they are different, yes, you can go ahead with set.
Okay.
Okay,
So
but in case of names, for say in a class, there are roll numbers and there are names. Same name people can exist in the same class, right? In that case, you should go for list.
okay.
Okay.
Okay. Yes. Got it.
Now,
Thank you.
this is if you know the difference between set and list, you will know when to use what. If you do
Okay.
not bother about duplicate, you can go for list. Then you will be getting the insertion order, the indexing, everything. You can access the values and everything. But at the time of, if you do not want any duplicates, you can go for set.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
that is a
Thank you.
basic main difference.
Yes, I got it. Yeah.
So,
Thank you so much.
yeah. Okay, fine. What was I saying? Set in Java, right? So, there are multiple methods in set, like add all, clear, contain. If it is empty or not, then iterator is already there always for everything. So these are basic important parts of set. Any other question related to set, linked list, array list, collection, anything? I see some of the people are very silent. Either they are too sleepy or they are not understanding anything. What happened? Are you not interested to be here or something? Goodness. Okay. What else was
Yeah,
there?
Phenomena.
Yeah. Yes.
Set also have some predefined methods.
Yeah. Everything
Like
has some predefined method.
list, array list, linked list. Set also have some methods.
Yeah. So always understand that when we are creating a framework, the main target of any framework is to have predefined method. This is collection framework that is given by Java. Okay. We can create frameworks also in future. So frameworks will always have some predefined method. So we have customized thing and default things, right? If you go to a shop, you buy something ready-made, some pants or shirts, you can get it. But if you want to make it according to your body measurement, you can create that also. You can make with the help of a tailor, right? The same way, framework gives us a default structure. Okay, so previously, if you had to write 100 lines of code to add a particular element in a list, now you will only you like need to use the add method to add an element, only one line, because rest of the things Java is already giving us in the utility. They're giving us how to do it, They are giving us multiple methods like remove, add all, clear all, add first, add last. So these things they are giving us. Okay.
Yeah.
So any framework has this kind of target to make people's work efficient, so that we are giving multiple default thing. People will use our framework and the work will be reduced to 50%. Rest of the thing we will have to do, but at least 50% of the work will be reduced because most of the things are already ready-made. Okay, for say in case of calculator, what happens? It already has some methods written behind it. You just had to put the number. Okay, in Java also you can go and you can use the sum, right? You can use 4, store it in an integer. You can use 5, store it in an integer. You can add integer 1, integer 2, and then it will give you the result. All these things you can do, definitely you can do. But in calculator, what happens? Every variable is stored, every function is stored at the back. You just have to put the numbers, that is the variables. You just put the numbers, you press the equals, it gives you the result because the functions are running at the back. Same way, any framework tries to have as much method as possible so that the user's experience is efficient.
Yeah, thank you, Pramita. I got it.
Okay. I think we can conclude the session. I do not want to. Saujanya, are you there or are you in the Q&A call?
No, no, Pulvit, I'm here.
Okay, Saujanya,
I need to join.
Tomorrow I'm
Yeah.
going to office and I guess the day after tomorrow also. So can you please take the tomorrow and the day after